My brother shouted, "Get out with your kids. This is family only." Then I pulled out the deed showing I'd just inherited the entire property. If this story already speaks to you, show some love by subscribing. And please say hi and tell us where you're watching from. I read every comment. The call came at 6:47 a.m. on a Tuesday. My brother Alvin's voice crackled through the phone, sharp and demanding. "Grandma Beryl passed. Family meeting at the house. 2 o'clock. Be there." No condolences. No warmth. Just orders like always. I sat in my cramped kitchen, my daughters Imani and Zara still asleep down the hall, and felt the familiar knot form in my stomach. Grandma Beryl. The woman who raised me when Mama couldn't. The woman who taught me to make her famous peach cobbler and told me I was worthy when everyone else made me feel small. My phone buzzed again. A group text from Alvin to the family, discussing the property and Grandma's affairs. Immediate family only. I stared at those last two words. Immediate family. As if I wasn't her granddaughter. As if I hadn't spent every Sunday for the past 3 years bringing her groceries, taking her to doctor's appointments, braiding her thinning hair while she hummed old spirituals. "Mommy." Imani's voice startled me. She stood in the doorway, 7 years old with wild morning hair. "Why are you crying?" I hadn't realized I was. I wiped my face quickly. "Just missing Grandma Beryl, baby. Can we go see her house today? She promised to teach me her card tricks." My heart cracked. "Maybe, sweetie. Go wake your sister." As she scampered off, I looked at Alvin's text again. Something felt wrong. His urgency. That specific emphasis on immediate family. Alvin never called family meetings. He barely called at all unless he needed something. I had no idea I was walking into a trap. Grandma Beryl's house stood on Maple Street like a proud matriarch, the yellow paint slightly faded but still dignified. I'd helped her repaint it 2 summers ago, my ex-husband Jerome nowhere to be found as usual. That was before the divorce, before he drained our savings for his business venture, that turned out to be another woman in Atlanta. I pulled up at 1:55 p.m. The girls buckled in the back. Alvin's BMW already dominated the driveway, along with our sister Shanice's Mercedes and several cars I didn't recognize. My old Honda looked pitiful beside them. "Mommy, why is Uncle Alvin here?" Zara asked. At 5, she already sensed tension better than most adults. "We're all here to remember Grandma Beryl, baby." But as I approached the front door, the same door I'd walked through 1,000 times, the door with the brass knocker Grandma polished every Saturday, something felt different. Wrong. Alvin opened it before I could knock. His designer suit probably cost more than my monthly rent. "Took you long enough, June." His eyes flicked to my daughters with something I couldn't name. Disgust? Annoyance? "I'm 5 minutes early, Alvin." He stepped aside barely enough for us to squeeze past. The house smelled like pine sol and grief. Shanice sat on the velvet sofa, her lawyer husband Raymond beside her, both staring at their phones. 3 people I vaguely recognized, cousins maybe, occupied the other chairs. "Girls, go play in Grandma's sewing room," I said softly. "Actually," Alvin's voice cut through the air like a blade, "they should wait in the car. This is adult business." I turned slowly. "Excuse me." "You heard me. Family meeting. Just adults. My daughters are family, Alvin." I kept my voice steady though heat crawled up my neck. "And it's 43 degrees outside." Alvin crossed his arms, his Yale class ring catching the light. "Then maybe you should have found a babysitter. This concerns Grandma's estate. Children don't need to hear financial discussions." Shanice finally looked up from her phone. "Alvin, they can stay in the back room. It's not that serious." "It is serious," he snapped. This is about a $2.3 million property, Shanice. Not a damn playdate. The number hung in the air. 2.3 million. I'd known Maple Street had appreciated. Developers had been circling the neighborhood for years. But hearing the actual figure made my breath catch. Since when do you care about this house? The words escaped before I could stop them. You haven't visited Grandma in 2 years. Alvin's jaw tightened. I've been busy building my practice. Some of us have actual careers, June. We're not all playing nurse to old ladies for sympathy points. The room went silent. Even Raymond looked up from his phone. Playing nurse. My voice shook. I took care of her, Alvin. Every single day. Where were you when she had pneumonia last winter? Where were you when she fell and broke her hip? Sending money, he said coldly. Which is more valuable than your little visits. Money pays for real care. Professional care. Imani tugged my hand. Mommy, I don't like it here. Neither did I. Not anymore. This house, once filled with Grandma's laughter and unconditional love, felt contaminated by Alvin's presence. But I'd come for answers and I wasn't leaving without them. Fine. Girls, go to the sewing room. Don't touch anything. As they left, Alvin smiled. It didn't reach his eyes. Raymond stood, clearing his throat with practiced authority. I've been designated to handle Beryl Patterson's estate matters informally before the official reading. As her attorney for the past 15 years. Wait. I interrupted. You were her attorney? Since when? Since I married into the family, Raymond said smoothly. Beryl wanted to keep things in the family, so to speak. Something about his tone made my skin crawl. Shanice wouldn't meet my eyes. Raymond pulled papers from his briefcase. Beryl Patterson's assets include this property, currently valued at $2.3 million, her savings account containing approximately $47,000, and various personal effects. Now regarding the distribution. Hold up, I said. Why are we doing this here? Shouldn't there be an official reading? Alvin laughed, sharp and condescending. This is the official reading, June. Raymond's a lawyer. What more do you need? A movie scene with a mahogany desk. I need to understand why I'm just now hearing about any of this. Grandma never mentioned updating her will. Because she probably didn't want to hurt your feelings, Shanice said softly, finally speaking. You know how she was. Couldn't stand confrontation. That was true. Grandma Beryl would eat burned food rather than complain. Would wear shoes 2 sizes too small rather than return them. Would let people walk all over her rather than... Wait. What are you saying, Shanice? Raymond continued as if I hadn't spoken. Per the will dated March 15, 2023, Beryl Patterson leaves her estate to be divided as follows. The property to Alvin Patterson, the financial assets to Shanice Henderson, and personal effects to be distributed among family members. The words landed like physical blows. That's impossible. March 2023? I stood up, my chair scraping against the hardwood floor Grandma and I had refinished together. Grandma was barely conscious in March 2023. He had that stroke. She couldn't even sign her own name. She was lucid enough, Raymond said, his lawyer voice maddeningly calm. I can assure you the will is legally sound. Let me see it. Alvin stepped between me and Raymond. You don't trust your own family? That's low even for you. Step aside, Alvin. Or what? He moved closer, using his height to intimidate me. You'll throw a fit? Make a scene? That's always been your problem, June. So dramatic. So emotional. Can't handle things like an adult. My hands shook. Not from fear, from rage. I spent 3 years taking care of her. 3 years. I bathed her. I fed her. I sat with her through the nights when she couldn't sleep, when the memories got too heavy. Where the hell were all of you? Building our lives, Shanice said quietly. Not everyone can afford to play caretaker, June. Some of us have responsibilities. I have responsibilities. 2 daughters, a full-time job. At a grocery store, Alvin cut in. Scanning cereal boxes. Real impressive. The cousins shifted uncomfortably. One of them, Aunt Lorraine's daughter Tamika, looked away. This house should go to someone who can maintain it, Alvin continued. Someone with the financial means to handle a property of this value. You can barely keep your apartment. How would you manage this? I'd figure it out. Like I always do. Exactly. Figure it out. That's not a plan, that's poverty thinking. He turned to the room. Grandma knew June couldn't handle this responsibility. That's why she left it to me. Show me the will. My voice came out steadier than I felt. Right now. I want to see her signature. Raymond's hesitation lasted only a second, but I caught it. The original is with my office. This is a certified copy. Then we'll wait for the original. I'm not accepting anything until I see proof. Alvin's laugh was cruel. You want proof? Fine. Raymond, show her the letter. Raymond pulled another document from his briefcase. Beryl left individual letters for each beneficiary. Here's yours. The envelope had my name in what looked like Grandma's handwriting. My hands trembled as I opened it. My dear June, it read. I know this will hurt you, but I must think of what's practical. Alvin can give this house the care it deserves. You have your own life to build. The memories we made here are yours to keep forever. Love always, Grandma Beryl. The words blurred. Sounded like her. Those phrases, what's practical, yours to keep forever. Things she'd say. But something felt wrong. The paper was too crisp. To you. When did you get this? I looked up at Raymond. She gave it to me in March with the will. But you said she gave the will to you 15 years ago. Raymond's expression flickered. She updated it in March. Keep up, June. Don't talk to her like that, Tamika suddenly spoke up. Y'all are being cruel. Stay out of this, Shanice snapped. This doesn't concern you. It concerns all of us. Tamika stood. Aunt Beryl loved June most. Everybody knows that. This doesn't feel right. Alvin turned on her. You got something to say about our grandmother's final wishes? You who visited maybe twice a year. More than you. Everyone out. Alvin's voice boomed through the house. Except immediate family. This meeting is over. The cousins left quickly, Tamika throwing me an apologetic look. As the door closed, the house felt smaller. Darker. Now, Alvin said, cracking his knuckles. Let's discuss the transition timeline. I want to list the property by. List it. My voice was barely a whisper. You're selling it? Of course I'm selling it. You think I want to live in this old neighborhood? This house is an investment, June. A $2.3 million investment. Everything Grandma built. Every memory. The garden where she taught me about collard greens. The kitchen where I learned her recipes. The porch where she held me when Jerome left, telling me I was strong enough to survive anything. You can't sell it. I can do whatever I want. It's mine now. Shanice looked uncomfortable but said nothing. Raymond had become fascinated with his phone again. The girls, I said, suddenly remembering. I need to check on them. They're fine, Alvin waved dismissively. Now about the timeline. I need to check on my daughters, Alvin. Jesus Christ, June. Always about those damn kids. He stepped in front of the hallway. They're fine. We're in the middle of important business here. Move. Or what? We stood there inches apart. I could smell his expensive cologne, see the vein throbbing in his temple. In that moment I hated him with an intensity that frightened me. Let her check on them, Raymond finally said. We can wait 5 minutes. Alvin stepped aside with exaggerated courtesy. I walked down the hallway, each step echoing on the hardwood. Past Grandma's bedroom where her lavender scent still lingered. Past the bathroom where she taught me to do my hair. To the sewing room at the end. The door was locked. Imani? Zara? I knocked, then rattled the knob. Girls, open the door. It's locked from the outside, Mommy. Imani's voice was high with fear. We can't get out. Cold fury washed over me. I walked back to the living room with measured steps. Who locked my daughters in that room? Alvin shrugged. They were making noise. Distracting us from important matters. They're 7 and 5 years old. You locked children in a room. They're fine. Stop being so dramatic. Open the door. Now. When we're finished here, Alvin said, returning to his seat. Now, as I was saying, I plan to list the property. I walked to the hallway closet where Grandma kept her tools, found the screwdriver and headed back to the sewing room. Behind me, Alvin was shouting something, but blood roared in my ears. I jimmied the lock, broke it if necessary, I didn't care. The door swung open. Both girls rushed into my arms, crying. Zara had wet herself from fear. It's okay, babies. It's okay. Mommy's got you. I told you we should have left them in the car. Alvin's voice came from behind me. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Your kids, your drama, your complete inability to handle adult situations. I stood slowly, still holding Zara. When I turned to face him, something must have shone in my eyes because he actually stepped back. Get your stuff, I told my daughters. We're leaving. Good, Alvin said. This is family business anyway. You've wasted enough of our time. Family business? I repeated softly. Family business? That's what I said. Family only. I am family, Alvin. You're family when it's convenient. When there's something to gain. But when it comes to responsibility, to actually contributing. I contributed everything. The words exploded out of me. Everything. While you were in your office downtown, I was here. While Shanice was getting her nails done and taking spa days, I was here. When Grandma cried at night because she felt like a burden, I was the one who held her and told her she wasn't. And you think that entitles you to? I don't want to be entitled to anything. I want what's fair. I want what's right. Alvin's face hardened. Life isn't fair, little sister. Grow up. Grandma made her choice. The house is mine. End of discussion. Show me the original will. We already. Not the copy. Not the letter. The original. With her real signature. From March 2023, when she couldn't even hold a pen. Raymond stood. Now wait just a minute. How much did they pay you, Raymond? I looked at Shanice. What did he promise you? Half? A third? You're delusional, Shanice said, but her voice wavered. Am I? Because here's what I know. In March 2023, Grandma had a stroke. She was in the hospital for 3 weeks. I have the records. I have the bills, which I paid, by the way. She couldn't sign her name. The doctors documented her inability to make legal decisions. The room went silent. So either you're committing fraud, I continued, my voice gaining strength, or Grandma miraculously recovered long enough to sign away her house to the grandson who abandoned her, then conveniently forgot to mention it to the granddaughter who actually gave a damn. Alvin's jaw clenched. Get out. Excuse me. Get out. Get out with your kids. This is family only. Real family. People Grandma actually wanted to have her things. Real family. I repeated. My hands were shaking, but not from fear anymore. From something else. Something powerful. That's what I said. Now get out before I call the police and have you removed for trespassing. Trespassing. I reached into my purse. That's interesting, Alvin. Really interesting. What are you doing? I pulled out the envelope. The one I'd found yesterday while packing up Grandma's things. The one I'd opened at 2 a.m., unable to sleep, unable to process what I was seeing. You want to talk about family business? Let's talk about it. I unfolded the papers. The real ones. The ones dated August 10, 2024, just 3 months ago during one of Grandma's good periods. The ones notarized by Mrs. Simmons from the senior center, with 2 witnesses who weren't family members. What is that? Raymond's voice had lost its confidence. This, I said, my voice steady now, powerful, is the actual last will and testament of Beryl Marie Patterson. Dated August 10, 2024. Notarized. Witnessed. Legal. Alvin lunged for the papers. I stepped back, holding them high. Don't you dare. And do you know what it says? I looked at each of them. It says that Beryl Marie Patterson, being of sound mind and body, leaves her entire estate, the house, the savings, everything, to her granddaughter June Marie Patterson. For care rendered. For love given. For being there when everyone else disappeared. The color drained from Alvin's face. You're lying, he whispered. Am I? I pulled out my phone, pulled up the photos I'd taken of every page. Should we call the notary? Mrs. Simmons would love to testify. She was there when Grandma told me she'd been trying to update her will for months. She said someone kept telling her it wasn't necessary, that everything was already handled. I looked at Raymond. That was you, wasn't it? Raymond's professional mask cracked. Beryl was confused. She didn't understand. She understood perfectly. I held up another paper. Here's her journal. August 5, 2024. Raymond says I don't need to worry about the will. But something feels wrong. Alvin hasn't visited in so long. Shanice only calls when she needs something. June is the only one who comes. Just to come. Just to be with me. Shanice's face crumpled. Grandma wrote that? Every day. For 3 years. Want to hear more? March 12, 2023. Right when you claim she signed your fake will. June held my hand in the hospital today. Couldn't even remember my own name, but I knew her touch. My sweet girl. Hope I can tell her someday how much it means. Stop, Alvin said. July 18, 2024. Alvin called. Needed money for his practice. Didn't ask how I was feeling. Just needed money. Always needs something. When will he just need me? I said stop. October 2nd, 2024. Told June about the new will today. She cried. Said I didn't have to do that. That she'd take care of me anyway. That's how I know she's the right choice. She doesn't want it. She just wants me. Tears streamed down my face, but I kept reading. Kept speaking. Kept exposing the truth. And finally, November 1st, 2024. 5 days before she died. June brought the girls today. They sang to me. Zar's getting so big. Imani told me about school. I pretended to be tired so they'd leave, get back to their lives. But truth is, I wanted them to stay forever. This house is theirs now. They filled it with love again. Alvin wanted the house. June wanted me. That's the difference. That's everything. The silence was deafening. So yes, Alvin, I said quietly. Get out. Get out of MY house. This is family only. Alvin's face went from white to red. This is bullshit. Raymond, tell her this is bullshit. Raymond was already backing toward the door. I need to review these documents. This is highly irregular. What's irregular is forging a dead woman's will, I said. What's irregular is taking advantage of an elderly woman's trust. What's irregular is locking children in a room. You can't prove. I can prove everything. I have Grandma's medical records showing she couldn't sign anything in March 2023. I have testimony from her doctors. I have her journal documenting her wishes. And I have this. I held up the deed. The property was transferred to me before she died. It's already done. This house is legally mine. Shanice stood up, tears streaming down her face. I didn't know. I swear, June, I didn't know about the journal, about what she really wanted. But you knew something was wrong, I said. You knew and you said nothing. Alvin said it was handled. He said Grandma wanted it this way. And you believed him? Over me? Over the person who was actually here? She had no answer. Alvin grabbed his coat. This isn't over. I'll fight this. I'll take you to court. Please do. I met his eyes. Please take me to court where we can discuss under oath why you tried to steal a dead woman's house. Where we can examine your fake will. Where we can talk about elder abuse and fraud. Please, Alvin. I'm begging you. Take me to court. His hand trembled on the doorknob. Get out of my house, I said softly. And don't come back. They left. All of them. Raymond practically running. Shanice sobbing. Alvin throwing one last murderous look over his shoulder. The door closed. The house was silent except for my daughter's breathing. I locked the door. I found my daughters in the sewing room. They'd pulled out Grandma's old quilts and made a fort, like she used to help them do. Mommy. Imani looked up, her eyes red from crying. Are we leaving? I knelt down, pulled them both close. No, baby. We're staying. This is our house now. Really? Zara's face lit up. We can live in Grandma's house? We can live in our house. Grandma wanted us to have it. To fill it with love and laughter and memories just like she did. Over the next few weeks, the truth came out. Raymond was disbarred for ethics violations. Alvin's attempted fraud was documented, though I chose not to press charges. The shame was punishment enough. Shanice sent a long apology letter that I wasn't ready to read yet. Maybe someday. We moved in on Christmas Eve. I'd sold my old furniture, but Grandma's things filled every room with her presence. The girls got the bedroom overlooking the garden. I took Grandma's room where her lavender scent still lingered. Tamika stopped by with her kids, then other cousins who'd heard what happened. Slowly the house filled with real family. The kind who showed up not for what they could get but for who they could be together. I found Grandma's recipe cards in the kitchen, her handwriting shaky but determined on the last ones she'd written. My famous peach cobbler, one read. For June. Who made every day sweeter. Standing in that kitchen, my daughters laughing in the next room, I finally understood what Grandma had given me. Not just a house. Not just security. But proof that love, real, consistent, unconditional love, was worth more than anything Alvin could ever comprehend. The house was ours. But more importantly, we were home. Where we'd always belonged. Thank you for staying with this story to the end. If this story resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share your own stories in the comments. You're not alone.